Hello and welcome to the Letterbox Breakdown. Today we will be studying Keanu Reeves, looking through the stats on Letterbox to see whether the actor has played more lead, co-lead, supporting or cameo roles, to see whether these stats break down your top list accurately for the number of leading men, supporting men or females who are starred in the movies you have seen. For me, Keanu Reeves is currently sat at 19th on my all-time list with a total of 40 movies watched. When we break this down, we're looking at different roles as well, so we won't just be saying every time he's played the same character. So if we're looking at just different roles, it is actually 33, because 7 of his roles, including John Wick, Neo in The Matrix and Ted in Bill and Ted, are recurring roles that have taken up most of a good quarter of the chunks of the movies I have actually seen of his. So without further ado, we will break into the separate roles. First up, we're looking at the leading roles, and in the leading roles I have a grand total of 23 leading roles. And of course, we have to go straight in and mention the fact that 3 of these are John Wick and 4 of these are Neo. But when we break this down, he has had a very, very interesting career where we've seen him take the leading roles in movies such as A Scanner Darkly, Hardball, Constantine, Chain Reaction, Knock Knock, Exposed, Henry's Crime, The Amazing Speed, Johnny Mnemonic, 47 Ronin, The Devil's Advocate, The Day the Earth Stood Still, Siberia, The Whole Truth, Street Kings, and the less than successful Replicas. And for me, there are still more I would eventually get around to seeing, but let's face it, there's been some great ones in there, and there's been some stinkers. But the key thing is he was able to contain himself in the leading role status. So we're going to jump into the co-leading roles. And in the co-leading roles we have they have a grand total of 5, with 3 of them being Bill and Ted. So yeah, we know we're not getting too many here. The others are Point Break with Patrick Swayze and The Brotherhood of Justice, the oldest movie of his that I've actually seen, which isn't very much. So he doesn't really take co-leading roles very often. He's always either the star or just a supporting character, with most of his supporting characters being very, let's just get a bigger name actor in to help a younger cast, rather than a buddy partnership. So into the supporting roles, I have a grand total of 9 here, and there are 9 different films, which is very good, and they do cover quite a few generations. So first up is The Man of Tai Chi, the movie he directed himself. Yeah, we won't worry too much about that one. Then we have The Gift, To the Bone, Toy Story 4, where he would do kaboom, and The Watcher, which is filled with lots of controversy because he didn't want to do it, The Neon Demon, Bram Stoker's Dracula, The Bad Batch, and Parenthood. A right mixed bag there. But then we also have to take into account that sometimes the bigger actor you are, the more often you will turn up in cameos. And that is where Keanu has recently started to become even more of a status of brilliance, because his cameo performances for me are only 3. But one of them is Always Be My Maybe, which again was a so-so comic rom-com. But when Keanu turned up, it's completely bonkers. He's completely playing an over-the-top version of himself that is just full of it, and it's so funny. It worked so well. He also gets to voice the cat in Keanu. So that is breaking down the 40 movies of Keanu Reeves that I have actually seen, and now there's a few I haven't seen which I probably should start trying to see, which include My Own Private Idaho, Something's Gotta Give, The Lake House, and Dangerous Liaisons, and there are many more because Keanu has done a lot of movies that I haven't seen, and generally because I don't watch many rom-coms. So, which movies of Keanu's do you think are highest on the list for you, and how many of them would you go out your way to try and add to your list? And how do you feel about the Letterbox Breakdown? Do you think there's some more talking to be done? Will we have plenty of movies to talk about for some of the best actors in the world? Let me know, and we may target some of the people outside of the top 20 next, as we have looked at a couple where we were trying to cover some of the more recent movies, where we had a look at Idris Elba, Natalie Portman, for example. So we have looked at others, but for now we're looking at the top 20. We were going to go from 20 to 1, but I feel we should mix it up a little bit. Anyway, so that's just the beginning of the breakdown. I would like to thank you all for watching, and until next time, let's crank those stats.